Hello everyone, so welcome to another episode here on Gorbad Ironclaw. And what we're gonna do is that we're actually gonna achieve finally that I'm gonna conquer Reichland. Note that I don't have that checked. That's because it belongs to Tzeentch, and Tzeentch is no longer a military ally. So, and that's a bit of a problem here, because they were the ones actually canceling out my military alliance with them out of the blue, and I was like, oh man, I needed that for the victory. But still, I'm gonna conquer Wissenland, and I'm gonna conquer Reichland, and I can even go just after Heralds of Ariel, just send 5 armies there and defeat them for the ultimate victory, so, or for the endgame victory. So I guess that's fine. I can have this definitely. And I think I can pursue all of them in turns. So I think domination is going to be faster than the end game. So I'm going to finish it off, Reichland, just so that you guys can see it. And when this shows up, it should be a video. Should be a video. Man, I would like these small things that, there should be a video of Reichland getting destroyed by, some orc or something like that. It doesn't need to be for everyone. It could have something like for the new characters, or for specific factions that are always at odds with one another, like dwarves in Skaven or dwarves in greenskins. Maybe they could have that specific, or something like chaos versus the order tide, or that sort of idea should happen. But, okay, I guess that's not how it works. So this is the territory, actually. This is where I noticed, oh, the green glow. It doesn't tell me to zoom. I cannot zoom, so I couldn't see it. So I now realize Oglok is not going to be able to reach there in time. So I'm going to miss the walk, which is kind of bad because I really wanted the scrap upgrades. Or the spiders, it's fine, but I guess I have more access than now to other units. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start putting some troops close where they can go and attack the Tzeentch's places, and I'm even gonna create like a couple of armies, if not mistaken, to do that. Because at this point it's like, oh, I have 6,000 in depth, and it's fine, and I'm like, no, hold on, because it's one of those situations where it's very easy actually to look at the income and go like, oh, I'm earning 5,990. No, I'm earning about 2,000 more. Why? Because I'm finishing up buildings that will give me around that. So you kind of have to count with that a little bit more. Okay, like I'm finishing buildings, and of course those buildings produce money. There's an argument to be said where you shouldn't ever invest in buildings after this point in time. It's just my OCD. Okay, so I like investing in buildings. I like seeing everything built. I hate seeing that notification there. So, I know I can disable it, but it's one of those things that I'm like, no, I'm going to treat my empire as if I'm building, as if it is not, finished later on. But there is an argument against this. She's okay. Let me put the speed here. He's going to be just with some basic gobos, night goblins, fanatics, and some squigs. So that's going to be his idea. But as I was saying, there's an argument to just build armies instead and using a sacking economy and being on the red completely. And that's how many people do those things, I'm going to use riders as well because I'm going to have night goblins there. Or squeak hoppers, sorry. And what else? Okay, I have it here. And now let me see. This is basically building a bear right now, because I can do everything here. Okay, and in Rich's time. I actually managed to finish that. That's good. Now. So I'm gonna give him anything that I have here. Most of the stuff it's blue. I'm blue. I cannot sing properly. So I can actually, but I cannot sing it properly because maybe it can get flagged. I don't know. Maybe I'll sing with my wonderful voice and they're going to say, oh, he's definitely copycatting. Okay. So he needs to pay us some money because he used the same music as us. It's so ridiculous sometimes. I wish I could just, that YouTube could say, hey, we're going to take you 10% of your earnings to give back to whoever you use in your videos, and that's it. But no, they have to complicate it even worse. How will they do that? Well, the same way that the streaming services do, like the Spotify or something like that. I don't know. I just feel it's not helping creators or people who are using the platform compared to other platforms, actually. But yeah. All right. Very well. That's one of those guys that you can just set auto skill later on. After you've done everything on the yellow line that you want, you can just set it to auto skill, and that's one thing that I'm gonna recommend later on. I actually was trying. Okay, I wanted deck gunners. They're so good here. Oh, I can get some chosen as Slanesh. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Might as well try to have some Slanesh units. It's not like I'll be able to showcase them, actually. But yeah, let me just have some fanatics with the chosen, so that's 6 infantry units. That's already enough to defend. 4 archers with the deckers, that's 6 archer units. And now I want some abilities, so knight squeak hoppers. So 666, that gives 18 units. And that's typically what I want you to think. Sometimes you can get away with 5, and then 7 or 8, in a different style, but that 666 always works really well. 6 range, 6 infantry, 6 cavalry, and then they are diverse. Like in the infantry, you can have monsters. In the cavalry, you can consider them monsters as well. You can have monsters that are artillery, so they count on the artillery side. That sort of idea. Let me give just some scrap upgrades to this guy. In this case, I wanted to have the ones with that would give me the missiles, better missiles overall, because I have so much scrap, actually, so much. Okay, yeah, you guys don't have scrap, sorry. There we go. A lot of weapon strength, a lot of missiles. I almost have everything there, so I'm gonna skip that part. Up to turn 193. The only problem is that these guys were so far away. But I still have some more banners of swiftness, and this is the long victory. Actually, it isn't still. Faction destroyed, finally. Elspeth is done. You can see how well they actually went for. But Reichland is not mine, so I'm gonna have to declare war. Because Grunburg was not taken, and they already hate me. They have been. It's not like I'm. Of course, I'm forcing that with ensuring that I'm chasing the armies that he has around, so that when I betray him, the armies will. I'll be able to have a surgical strike and attack everyone at the same time. And take out a lot of it. This is something that I want you guys to think. And it's also something that I'm going to talk about when doing this sort of idea, is that you want wars to take on for the least time if possible. You want to prepare, if it is possible, prepare for the war in a way that it's going to end on the first turn. And that's the idea. It's never going to end on the first turn, but you're going to issue such a blow to the enemy that they're not going to be able to pursue that. So Astrogoth actually had declared war on me, and that's why I'm moving the units from the Kislev front to the Astrogoth front, which is kind of the same, really. Kislev is a second power, which is amazing because they have almost nothing. I don't know how it powers them up, but yeah, it is counting them as the second power in the game. I guess it's alliances as well or something like that that can count or whatever. But yeah, Over here, I'm sensing already that Slanesh is going to attack me because they hate that I'm trespassing and raiding against Oracles of Tzeentch. This is also a nice way for me to lose the units that actually, the Chosen, that I was actually going for, but still. And I am going to have to declare war on Tzeentch, conquer most of their places, and then the armies that are defending here, or they're attacking Tzeentch here, they're going to be the ones defending against Slanesh, you know? So I have almost, you know, one army per pocket, and this is something that you gotta do. You know, sometimes you gotta declare war on an ally, because they have so many settlements near you, and this is all settlements that he got where there's a bit of a problem, let's say. Because he got them via his purchasing stuff, you know, he can say, oh, this settlement now is mine. I was showcasing something. You see that it has a C. C means completed, as in I'm not going to change any units that this guy has, right? And then S is for scrap, as in they all have the scrap upgrades that it's full in scrap upgrades. So for instance, if you look to the right, Bladup Tuftaka has a CS, which means that his army is complete. I don't need to change anything, and the scrap is also complete. That also helps. So you have to develop a little bit some of these sort of tactics, not tactics, ideas, right? To facilitate the end game, because there's no way to tell me for you to say, hey, this guy is completed. I don't want to have to touch, you know, his items or whatever any longer, you know? So you can put anything on the name of the guy, even if it is waiting for Banner of Swiftness, you know? So that you can remember, you know, that sort of stuff really helps in ensuring that, you know, you can use a little bit. I would love a note. I would love, please, CA, put a notepad of something, notes, following every single army, so that you can go like, oh, I want this army to go this, and this, and then suddenly it's much easier for you to especially to come back to a game where you think, oh, I don't remember this, I'm going to delete it. Instead, you're going to play it because you have all the notes there for you, you know? So those sort of ideas I would love for CA to do for other titles, especially if they have so much micromanagement as this one. And they have been always in the past, micromanagement situations. Sorry for the silence, guys. I had to answer the door. So, in essence, long victory completed, finally, because I declared war next turn on Tzeentch and conquered Grumburg. So finally, I have Reichland. Long victory, so global recruitment capacity. It's insane. You can, in global recruitment capacity, you can build an army in one turn. And especially with Gorbad, he's really well designed for that because he gives them a less turn there. So in terms of statistics, 215 settlements. I'm going more for domination. This is a long campaign that it's more like going for domination. And you saw how it happened earlier on, where I had to divert into others. So Lords lost 6. I don't agree with that. I think those 6 are with Confederation ones. Not a lot of subterranean intercept battles, actually lots, and not a lot of ambush battles. That's something that people say, oh, ambush battles they're important, but not as important. Of course, like a ratio of 1 to 5 auto-resolves. Most of that is because I'm fighting, I'm recording, and I need to be a little bit faster, you know. But because, you know, I have some other campaigns that I'm testing and such, where I just fight everything, you know, as I can. So I actually used a couple of bloated corpses and they died. Because they always lose in auto-resolve, you know. So it's like, oh yeah, awful unit to have in auto-resolve. But yeah, long campaign completed. Next video is going to be way past this, and it's going to be the conclusion, and I'm going to go back then, merge this in Malakai campaign to showcase how to approach the endgame, conquering the full map, in case that's what you guys would like. Okay, some tips for that, because I haven't seen many people saying how to give tips for those scenarios. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.